Water. Hello, everyone. It is Revi Goldwasser, and I'm super excited to do my Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern live on the fly, my Facebook tribe, but we are also on YouTube and the Facebook page using StreamYard again, guys. So if you're watching this after like 2 to 2:30 Eastern on Wednesday, August 12th, then you're watching a recording. Just giving you a heads up. It's always so cute when I see, hi, Revi, and I'm like, they're like, oh, it's not live. But still love your comments. I always read it. So it doesn't matter when you watch it. It stays in the feed, and definitely want to hear about your comments. Let's just wait a couple more minutes for people to join. I'm just going to check quickly to make sure we are live. And today I am all about, oh, it totally worked. I am all about MMI. MMI is the only way to think and to breathe and to live. I just want to make sure I'm live everywhere. It looks like I'm good. Okay, perfect. So today my whole live is about MMI, me, myself, and I. That's really, to me, the fearless woman mantra is MMI, me, myself, and I. I came up with that like when I left my husband, and I was completely dazed. I think that's the good word. I think that's what we can use, right, guys? When we go through a divorce or a breakup of that type, we are dazed, we are confused, we are perplexed, we are in shock, we are like literally like a bomb just exploded, and we can't really hear, we can't see, and we can't understand. And it took me a while to really understand that. I'm like, how did this happen to me? Because this is not me. And how did this happen to me? And how did I accept such behavior for so long? How did I put up with that? Why did I put up with it? Why did I stay married for so long? Like all these questions. Hey guys, hi everybody. Remember, I'm on StreamYard, so I can't see who's commenting, but hello, how's it? Thanks for joining. The concept again, the live today is about hashtag MMI, capital M, capital M, capital I, because it's me, myself, and I, you. I was just so flabbergasted as to how I basically blew up my own life. You know, I really took accountability, and that's something that you guys see a lot from my comments in the tribe, that we do like to blame the husband. And I know, especially when you're deep in acute, or we've got some women here that are thinking about getting a divorce or that are separated in the middle of divorce, and it's very easy to point fingers. Now, I'm never going to say that he wasn't wrong. You know, I would say 90% of the time he probably is, maybe even 95%. But that doesn't help us. And that's one thing that I learned too. Like when after I left my husband 5 years ago, I realized that I was in it. So yeah, he may have been the angry one, the toxic one, the narcissistic one, whatever you want to say, and everyone would agree. But so what? Because I was in it. I was part of that. I succumbed to it. I acquiesced to it. I surrendered. I shut my mouth. I didn't stand up. I accepted. I walked on eggshells. I did all those things. And I'm like, that's not happening again. But I knew that it wasn't even enough to say that's not happening again. I knew that I had to figure out why it happened. I'm like, if I don't understand why it happened, then I know that I'm going to get the same kind of man. I talked about this last week. I think it was on Sunday. Those are my chihuahuas barking. Sorry, guys. So the epiphany, and I'm hoping every woman who watches this live can really take this as the most important revelation that you'll ever have in your whole life. Because this is what happened to me. I'm like, I never thought of myself. I never once thought of myself, because I was trying to understand why. Like, why? Like, I'm a good person. I know all of you guys are. We're good. We're doers. We're shakers. We're amazing with our kids. Many of us work, make a lot of money, take care of the home, take care of the husband, take care of the bills, take care of the house, take care of his family, my family, your family, doing meals, doing events, going to PTA, doing carpool. I mean, it doesn't stop. So how the hell did this happen to us? I was like, God, I figured that one out. That was very important for me. And that was the revelation I had, guys. And I know many of you are coming there, or maybe you're not there yet, or maybe some of you have. It really depends where you are in the process. We never thought of ourselves, guys. We never did. We thought about him 99% of the time and the kids 1%, honestly. I bet all of you would agree that your husband even came before your kids. I know that's how it was with me. He came even before my kids, which, by the way, is the most unnatural thing to do for a mother. So unnatural. The right man will love a woman who does that. The right man will be enamored by a woman who does that. The wrong man will get jealous. The wrong man will throw the temper tantrum. What about me? And I recognize that the pivotal awakening that I had is I never thought of myself, period. And I know that's what you guys do too. And the fact that to even think of ourselves now, that's why I'm always like hashtag MMI, me, myself, and I. The thought of you to even think of yourself now is so foreign. And again, the reason why it's so foreign and almost so uncomfortable to a point that some of you might feel dirty, ashamed, aghast, and surprised is because you've never done it. You've never done it. How can you do something? It's like riding a bicycle for the first time in your life. You're going to freak because you're going to be like, how can I get on something that has 2 wheels and I'm going to fall down and the gravity makes no sense? That's MMI. That's the same concept as MMI. Hashtag MMI, me, myself, and I. You're like, no, I can't think of myself. Me? Think of me? No, I've got to think of him, of her, them, him. No, that doesn't work. In this acute phase of what we're going through, guys, this tribe is very specific. We're very boutique. I like using that word because my recruiting firm was, I would always say, I'm a boutique LA financial services recruitment shop, which, you know, I'm looking to wind down because I want to do this 24/7. So we're boutique, B-O-U-T-I-Q-U-E. It's so French, so French. This boutique tribe is in an acute phase of rebuilding, coping, recovering, and, you know, becoming the fearless woman you were born to be, releasing the fearless woman that's right inside of you. You just haven't let her out. You don't even realize you have her in there, and she's so in there. She's screaming to you inside, get me out. And you keep suppressing her, pushing her down. Like, no. We don't matter. No. We're not important. No. He's more important. No more. MMI will absolutely change the way you are for the rest of your life. And even after this acute phase that things do calm down for you, and they will, they always do. It takes a couple of years, guys, 2 to 3 years. You will get through it. Everything will be calm. Settlement will happen. Routine will happen. The kids will settle. A whole new reality will occur. And I don't want you stopping the MMI because I know during the acute phase, it's very important to really self-nurture, self-absorb, put yourself first. Think of your feelings, think of your emotions, make sure the people around you nurture and love you. And if they don't, we have to push those people away. That's an awareness element. This is stuff, by the way. Oh, at the end of the live today, I'll talk about my program too, guys, which I'm launching in October. But I'll do that at the end. MMI will save your soul. Carolina from Munich, my baby cakes. Hello, my lovey. MMI will save your soul. It will be the sexiest, most incredible, exciting, intoxicating, wonderful, beautiful things you will ever do in your whole life. Because when you become aware of your needs and your desires and your passions and your values and your feelings and your emotions, and what you like and what you don't like, it's amazing. It's amazing. And a lot of us are so afraid to do that because we think we're not worth it. That's the truth. Everything about here comes down to worth. That's the very root of the problem, but it's hidden in many different types of clusters, actions, reactions, relationships, you know, all that stuff. But it all comes down to the same thing. Oh my God, we're doing remodeling in my home, in my bathroom and living room, and I hope they might make noise. If they make noise, I'll probably have to end the live early, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot that they're working today. MMI is your God-given right. Me, myself, and I. MMI is your God-given right. You must practice it. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. I don't care how awkward it feels. I don't care how strange it feels. I don't care if you feel like crap doing it. Do it. The fact that you're going to feel like that is exactly why you need to do it. Because most of us were with men that the MMI, they knew that. I would often look at my husband and say, God, he's like always having so much fun, and he's always happy, and he's always buying things, and he's always like reckless and loose and, you know, doing what he wants, and people are kind of afraid of him. And, you know, obviously I don't mean it that way, because that's more of a dysfunctional, unhealthy way. And women like us, we're not going to do that. But when you revel in yourself, you're like, this is kind of fun. It's kind of fun to do that. And don't ever stop. A woman is very sexy when she, and again, I'm talking about our women, because we are natural givers. We are natural women that are kind and loving and givers. There's some women that are bitches, you know, and I had friends like that. I'm not friends with them anymore. I also realized that the way my husband was, I attracted a lot of female friends that were like him. Don't kid yourself, guys. Don't kid yourself. How your husbands and boyfriends were, you probably have friends like that, because we tend to be the common denominator that attract these types of people into our life. But if you get to a point that you just like within a minute or two, you're going to sense that so fast, and you'll walk away from it. You'll walk away from it. You know, the reason why it's really, really hard for us to walk away from those types of relationships, other than, of course, the marriage and kids and all that, but there's an element of time that you've invested so heavily into something that it's human nature to not be willing to separate from something that you put so much time and effort into. So that's also one of the challenges of the breakup with our core spouses and families and lovers and boyfriends, etc. But the good news, now that you're so aware of it, that as you attract new people in your life, you won't even spend 5 minutes with that person, because you'll right away sense, something's not right with that person. That person's a taker. That person is all about them. And the MMI concept comes from such a beautiful place, because you're a natural giver. Like, you'll never be mean when you do MMI. It's just that goes against your nature. Goes against your nature. You're not a mean person. Unfortunately, we attracted mean partners. And it's because our heart is so big that we just gave and we gave. And because we lack worth, we lack deficiency, and we have lack in, you know, we're deficient in love, we're deficient in validation, we're deficient in really knowing who we are and honoring who we are and recognizing how great we are. We don't see it. We have all these blind spots. We don't see that due to these deep, deep limiting beliefs that that were ingrained in us when we were little, and that we just insist upon the fact that we are not enough. And we scream, beg, and yell to our husbands to say, look how great I am. Look how amazing I am. Look what a good person I am. There was a woman in the tribe the other day that posted a comment, will my husband, always be a narcissist, and the next woman he meets, he'll be a narcissist with her too. Who cares about him? Yeah. The only thing I care about, and I even wrote on there, I said it's irrelevant what he does. The only relevant factor is for you to change your patterns and your behavior so you don't attract another narcissist into your life. That goes back to the fact of you're part of the problem. Don't think for a minute you're not. If you actually think you're not part of the problem, then I guarantee you will meet the same kind of man again, because you will eventually find a man. We all do. If you want it, you'll find one. If you don't want it, you won't. You'll be right. I always say, whatever you say, you'll be right. If you want a man, you'll find a man. If you don't want a man, you won't. But if you're not consciously aware of who you really are and where your lack and deficiency is, and become consciously aware of it, because these are very subconscious limiting beliefs that we have. If you don't make those conscious and work on eradicating them and eliminating them, and work on how freaking fabulous you really are, and nurture that through MMI, you won't do the correct healing. See, the healing is not the breakup and the divorce. No, that's just semantics. The true healing is the revelation that you're the problem. I know, it was a big one for me too. I'm like, shit, I thought I was so perfect. I'm like, man, I'm so nice. I'm so good. I'm the nicest person. I help everyone. I don't ask anyone to do anything for me. I do everything for everyone. And I'm like, oh my God. Like when I started recognizing that about myself, I'm like, oh my God. Like talk about spreading myself so thin because I kept validating who I was as a person by giving to them. But that comes from such a place of lack and deficiency that you're not even giving to the right person. You end up giving to a toxic person that's going to go, he's going to suck you dry, which I know for many of us, that's what happened. We were exhausted, depleted, couldn't function. For many of us, that was the last straw. That's when we left. Or there's women that haven't left, but they're like, I'm exhausted. I'm hopeless. I'm helpless. I don't know what to do. And they're still married, but that's what's going on. You have such lack and deficiency, and you keep trying to validate who you are as a human with a guy, and it doesn't work. So when you just stop the madness, even if you're married, divorced, single, it doesn't matter. Just stop the madness and just say, you know what? I need to focus on me and revel in that. When did you ever get to do that? And I never did it until I left my husband. It wasn't even right away. I mean, obviously the first year was very difficult because of the divorce and mediation, and it was very, very hectic. So it didn't come right away. It came like maybe a good year after that. In the last few years, and by the way, the revelation now is ongoing. Now it doesn't stop. This is not something that just stops. This is something that goes on forever. But the revelation of MMI, meaning every decision, every situation, every action, every behavior that I make has to be good for me. Has to be. It's a requirement. It's a requirement. I make sure that I do something nice for me every day, no exceptions. I make sure that I do exercise. If I don't want to exercise, that was a choice. I make sure that every day I hug my kids. I am very conscious of my life. I don't want you to be a sheep. I want you to be a shepherd. I don't want you to be a passenger in the car. I want you to be the driver. There's a very big difference of consciousness and awareness, because if you're going to be the sheep, that means something else is leading you. And what's leading you when you're a sheep is a limiting belief that you don't deserve better. And in fact, this is all you deserve. It's not true. You deserve better. But if you're not aware of it and you keep going back to trying to validate who you are in a toxic, dysfunctional relationship, you're just going to run out of energy, because you need somebody to give back to you. And those kinds of people don't know how to. Hi, beautiful. It's Lisa. Hey, gorgeous. So those people just don't know how to. So I'm not saying not to stop giving, but I'm just saying make sure it's good for you and it doesn't deplete you, but it rather energizes you. That MMI for me, it just changed my life. And we will never be mean people. I was just talking to somebody earlier today. I think it was, I don't remember. And she was saying to me, I just don't understand, mean people. Good. I said to her, I'm like, I never want to understand mean people. I don't even want to get into the space of understanding a mean person, because that's toxic, dysfunctional, and that's just not who I am, and it makes me nauseous. Even thinking about it now, I swear I'm getting a little nauseous. That's how sensitive I am to that. I don't want you to understand a mean person. I want you to understand that you shouldn't be with a mean person. You deserve to be with a kind person and a good person. But that means you have to be kind and good to yourself first. See, if you don't practice the MMI mantra, that means you're not being good to yourself first. Rough week, needed this. Oh, hi, Stephanie, gorgeous. If you're not practicing MMI, then you're going to keep being depleted and exhausted. And it's the rabbit hole. It doesn't work. The minute you start having that mantra of MMI and always making sure that you nurture and love yourself and do things that make you happy, that don't deplete you, that are good for you. And it's not about telling your ex or your husband how great I am, how good I am. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about you doing it for yourself. You don't need to, If you need to prove something to somebody and show it to them, that's lack. If you want to prove it to yourself, that's MMI. That's the fearless woman. See, the minute you have to show them, okay, like you can show them, that's fine, but not in their face, meaning like, I'm going to show them is more your mental determination, not, oh, I can't wait to text him and so he can see like I'm on a date. Like I'll be people like, they'll purposely post pictures of them being on a date and, I can't wait for my ex to see that. How childish is that? That's not what a grown woman does. This tribe and this program is for grown women. We're not 20 years old here. We're not children. We're grown women. So if you want to really move forward and propel in your life and thrive, not just survive. I don't want you to survive. You did that already. It wasn't great. I want you to thrive, not survive, thrive. Then you got to be a grown-up. You got to be a grown-up. And when you go, and you go after him, and like I see sometimes the comments in the tribe, I mean, I don't get involved in those. Like, look what he did and look what he did, and doesn't help. The transformation comes in MMI, because if you're gonna sit there and go down that rabbit hole, you're just gonna feel like shit. And I don't want you feeling like shit. I want you to be free. I want you to be happy. I want you to be independent. I want you to be at peace, and I want you to have love. Give love, receive love, and have love. Damn right, you deserve it. You're a beautiful woman. Every human being deserves love. Every human being wants to give love. It's the universal language of the universe. The universal language of the universe. Animals understand it. Plants understand it. People in China understand it. Friggin' aliens probably understand it. There's not a real language to it. It's an energy. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. I'm all about feeling and emotions. I honor my heart, period. Everything is about my emotion, my heart. This is what needs to guide you in your life. Because a lot of us also ignored this part when we were married. Stop doing that. Because this is our emotion and our feelings. And emotions and feelings for a woman is what maketh the woman. A woman is a woman who goes by emotions, feelings, and intuition. That's feminine energy. I don't care if you're friggin' making $1 million. I don't care if you're the CEO of a company. I don't care if you're running the household and you have a lot of these very masculine, powerful traits. Good for you. A woman has multiple traits, but a woman is a creator of life. Because we're creators of life, we have feelings, we have emotions, and we have intuition. So MMI, me, myself, and I, is when you start honoring all that. You honor all that. And what I mean by honor, I mean pay attention to it, listen to it, think about it, question it, dive into it. Don't ignore it. Don't go poo-poo, ugh. No. Being emotional, it makes you a woman. I'm not saying emotional cuckoo crazy, but emotional like feelings, emotions. You got to honor this. This is so important. MMI is all about every single moment of your day doing things that will always make you feel good, feel happy, feel nurtured, not feeling guilty, not feeling compromised, not feeling angry. If you have to do something, listen, there's some grown-up things we have to do. If you have to go to mediation, yeah, it sucks, but you have to go to mediation. You have to pay your taxes. Yeah, you have to pay your taxes. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about, we talked about in the program the other day, as something silly as somebody wants you to make a cake for them. And you really hate cooking and you don't want to cook. But you do it anyway. But let's face it, you really don't want to make the cake. But you're doing it to be nice to them. But when you're doing something to be nice to them, but you really don't want to cook. By the way, I hate cooking. This is my story. I used to hate this. And I used to make cakes all the time for people. And I used to curse as I cook. Why am I doing this? I hate cooking. I'm not good at cooking. I'd be making chocolate cake and the apple cake. Meanwhile, what I really wanted to do was work on my recruiting business or go to yoga or, watch a movie, or go play with my kids in the backyard. But instead they were playing and I was making a cake for somebody else and she didn't even work. I was the one busting my balls working 12 hours a day and I'm making a woman a cake who doesn't even work. It's shocking that I did that, but I did. And the reason I did that is because I didn't practice MMI. I put her feelings up here and my feelings down here. Never again. Bloop. This is where you are all the time, at the top. Eventually, you're going to be doing this. You're always going to be equal. Obviously, equal is the best because you want to be giving and receiving and giving and receiving, and they're going to give, and that's what you want. But in this acute phase where we're still recovering and rebuilding and shock and all that with what's happening to us, right up here. Right up here. That's where you belong. By the way, you belong here forever. Okay? So that's my little blurb for the week, guys. MMI. Tonight we have a Zoom support group at 8 p.m. Please join us. fearlesswoman.co/Zoom. I can't even say that. /Zoom. There we go. And I'm also started one Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. The program, I'll do a separate live on that. It's fearlesswoman.co/the program. You can learn about it. Excuse me. We're still updating some things. It's not completely correct, but it's going to be most likely in October, most likely 8 weeks, most likely once a week, live, immersion, intense. Oh, Stephanie's saying no is becoming easier. Good for you, Stephanie. Yes, it's hard to say no because we feel guilty to say no, because then we're worried that they're going to get upset with us and get mad at us or be disappointed in us. And that's because we're validating our worth on that action to please them. So we look at it like, oh, let me do something nice for them. They'll like me and that's going to make me feel good. When in fact, it makes you feel worse. The validation of worth comes from saying no, because you're up here and they're down here. And when you get to a point that it's okay if you feel badly, but you should not regret it, because it's worse to feel compromised doing something for somebody than for you to, it's worse for you to feel compromised than for you to feel bad. I'd rather you feel bad that you said no, than to, by the way, and I love how you said it's becoming easier. You didn't even say it's hard. You said it's becoming easier. That's a very optimistic way of saying it. So good for you. I like that even more. Anyway, so my program is going to be, and I have a poll and announcements. I would love it if you guys could help me. I'm trying to figure out the best time. If you could go to announcements for the poll, but I'm going to most likely do 8 weeks, not 6. We're going to do one onboarding for all of us 6 weeks, once a week. It's going to be at least 3 hours of concept of each module of the week. And the last week will be, offboarding per se, takeaways, action plans from that point on. We're halfway into my first program with my yummy OG Fearless Women. It's been remarkable. I'll never forget them. And it just gave me such validation for what this program and the impact is going to do to you. It's my dream come true. I'm not stopping. My goal for 2021 is 10,000 women, 10,000 fearless women in the house, to be empowered, to be inspired, to know our worth, to become the fearless woman we were born to be, and to have true love, real love, healthy love, not dysfunctional love. But you can't find that and attract that if you have lack and deficiency in your worth. Because when you come from that point of weakness, you won't attract a healthy man. You'll attract a man who's a predator and revels on that. So that was my revelation. I'm like, holy crap. Because that's what happened. The boyfriend I have now in my life, I often have to poke him. I'm like, are you real? I can't even believe the words that come out of his mouth. I didn't think it was possible for a man to say these types of words to a woman. I didn't think it was possible. Because I had no proof of that. I had no proof. But when you start, when my hair always gets stuck in my glasses. When you start validating your own worth and saying, I'm not tolerating that anymore. I'm not going to accept that anymore. And this is what I want. Because you start doing that to yourself, a healthier man who wants to do that will find you. See, like attracts like. So I had dirt. I didn't even have dirt. I had below dirt, awful. And I swear when I left my husband, I'm like, love doesn't exist. I remember my girlfriend once said to me, she goes, Revi, I just spoke to Jane, and Jane said that her boyfriend, she's been divorced 3 years, her boyfriend said he loves her. I'm like, what? Is it true? Really? She's like, yeah. And he texts her every morning. He texts her every night. He checks in on her. He comes over. He has dinner with the kid. I'm like, what? Because I remember when she and I were going through divorce, we both had also unhealthy husbands, you know, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive. We didn't believe it was possible either. I swear I thought it was impossible. I thought it didn't exist. But I was so certain of what I wanted, and I was so clear with my needs, and I was so secure with being okay with not having a man that I met an amazing man. And I'm not going to say it hasn't been easy, you guys. Second time around, we now have collateral damage too. It's, you know, we're in our 40s, 50s, some 30s. I know there's some women here in the 30s, but predominantly in here we're 40s and some 50s. We have kids. Some are grown up in their 20s, you know, double digits. We have crap too. So it's never going to be perfect. Second time around is not. First time around wasn't perfect. So you know that it's not ever perfect, but you now know what you're tolerating and accepting and what you're not. That's the difference. With our marriage, we didn't even have that. We tolerated everything. That's not happening anymore. So the revelation, though, comes in MMI, me, myself, and I, in a beautiful, loving, delicious way. I'm never, ever going to be mean about that. Steve Jobs, I shared that in the program the other day. I read an article that he talked a lot before he passed, and he wrote, just because you're a human being doesn't mean you can be human. Just because you're a human being doesn't mean you can be human. Meaning, like, you guys know what that means. It's like, you know, just because you're a person doesn't mean you're going to be nice. So we'll never understand why our husbands, maybe, you know, some were very mean, and I don't want you to understand that. Don't even bother. You're having a hard time understanding yourself. Now you're going to try and figure him out. Same thing with our parents. Like, I just don't go there. That's a choice I make as a grown woman. I make that choice because I want a damn good life for myself. That's what I want. I want a damn good life for myself. And I'm living that right now because I don't know when my life can end. It can end tomorrow, it can end in 50 years. So having that sense of urgency to live my life, MMI, is what I'm doing. That's my choice. Okay, I absolutely love this. Hey, Kara, gorgeous. So that's a lot of my thoughts, guys. Okay, Zoom support group tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. The program, fearlesswoman.co/the program. Please give me input under announcements as far as times. I'm launching the next one in October. It will be 8 weeks long. I'm adding 2 weeks. I'm going to do an onboarding and an offboarding, and then the 6 modules. It's going to be a deep dive life coaching immersion where we all together on Zoom. I'm going to share my thoughts. We're going to all discuss, talk, share. It's a microverse. It's not a universe. It's a microverse that we create together. And it's very empowering. It's life-changing. I'm seeing it from the women in the first program. We're going to do once a week live coaching, and then once a week Facebook Live with Q&A that you guys will submit to me, and it's a private Facebook group. Okay? That's what we're going to do there, and I'll finalize the pricing in the next couple of weeks. I'll let you guys know. Okay. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I will see Zoom tonight at 8, Zoom Sunday at 7. And I'm going to go live again Sunday at 6. That's what I'm doing, at least for the month of August. It's all about testing. It's all about trying. It's all about failing forward, because that's what a fearless woman does. Ciao, guys.